Hello, Cryptowisers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Milton, and I will be your captain for this episode. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a very big update on Wheat Finance, one of my favorite yield optimization sites on Binance Smart Chain. I know it's been a rough go for the yield farming sites, especially on Binance Smart Chain, but the team at Wheat, they've had their head down, they've been working hard, and they have a very exciting update, so I thought it would be worthwhile sharing that with you. Full transparency, Wheat Finance is a sponsor of our channel, and I want to thank our friends at Wheat for partnering with me to make this video. So without further ado, buckle up, because this is going to be another exciting episode of Cryptowise. All right, Cryptowisers, let's get into this. So for those of you who don't know, Wheat Finance is a yield optimization site on Binance Smart Chain from the team at GrowthDefi. And GrowthDefi is a decentralized ecosystem that focuses on capital efficiency and maximizing returns through a variety of products. One of those products is Wheat Finance. One of the things I really liked about the team behind GrowthDefi and Wheat Finance, and why I agreed to allow them to be a sponsor of the channel, was from the very beginning they were talking sustainability. And that's one of the toughest things with these yield optimization sites, because there are so many new yield farming sites that pop up with huge APYs. And if you watch the channel, you know that I am all for them. I will chase my APY. But those sites are more kind of like a bank robbery. Okay, you got to get in early and you got to get out, because it's all about hype. They're not sustainable, really. You can make some good money off of them. They're fun while they last, but you know there's going to be a crash at some point. But the team at GrowthDefi behind Wheat Finance, they always talk to me. They said, we want to be sustainable. And I would say, guys, your APYs, they don't compete with some of these other farming sites. And they were like, yes, exactly, because those ones are not sustainable. We want to be sustainable. So that has been something I have always admired, and they put their money where their mouth is during this last month. Because what is one of the most important things about these smart contract sites? Security. You got to make sure that the code behind the smart contracts are airtight. We've seen so much hacking. We've seen so many security breaches on these sites. So security, very, very important. So that's why I was so impressed when I talked to the team and they said, we are going to get audited by Consensys Diligence. Okay, so when we're talking security of these sites, about the smart contracts, the coding, we're talking about audits. Okay, that's number one. That's basic. These sites, you want them to be audited. You want a third party, objective third party looking over the code saying, yeah, this code works. We don't find anything. But those audits are not all created equal. All right, one of the most popular ones is Certic. And don't get me wrong, definitely Certic is fine. It's passable. Much better to have a Certic audit than not. But when we're talking cream of the crop of audit companies, ones you can be impressed by and say, wow, this team really is taking security seriously. Consensys Diligence is right there at the top. Because something like Certic, they'll take a couple of days to do an audit, and they do a lot of them. They turn them over. Consensys Diligence only takes a few projects on at a time. It takes months for them to even take you on, and they do not take everyone on. And I talked to the team, and they said that it took about 6 months they had to wait for them to audit it. That's how busy these guys are. But it's not just that they're busy, it's that they take so much time to do each audit. So for example, this year they are on track to do about 16 audits. That's it. And it takes them about a month to do each audit. So this is a big deal. It's my understanding, I'm pretty sure this is correct, that this is the first audit by Consensys Diligence on the Binance Smart Chain. So also a big deal. And you can see some of the names, some of the projects that they have audited in the past: Aave, Aragon, Omisi Go, Horizon. And if we come up here and look at the audits, they have them all listed here. And we can see here, GrowthDefi Wheat. That is the Wheat audit right here. And look at some of these other names: ERLC, 1inch, Paxos, Aave, Filecoin, Aave Balancer, Bancor, Balancer again. So these guys work with the top DeFi platforms in all of crypto. So again, big deal that Wheat Finance, a tiny little market cap project like Wheat Finance, went to the trouble of getting Consensys Diligence to do an audit for them. So if we come back here on the Wheat platform, I love this too, very transparent. They have a link to the full report right here. I'll touch upon the report, the findings, but I won't go through it in detail, but it is right here for you to read. You can look through the whole thing. And so I love that kind of transparency. And these are the details that for me are starting to separate Wheat Finance from a lot of the other Binance Smart Chain yield farming sites. And I did mention how small they are. So if we look on CoinGecko here, the Wheat token, it has taken a beating like all the yield farming tokens have in the last few months or weeks, down to $2.86. We're talking a market cap of under $1 million. For a project that has a market cap under $1 million to get a Consensys Diligence audit, pretty impressive. So obviously it has been painful to see the decrease in the token price. I own Wheat. I stake it on the Wheat platform. I'm auto compounding it there. So yeah, that's been tough. But I think this could be the turning point for the market. And I love that Wheat is positioning themselves to be one of the most sustainable yield optimization sites on Binance Smart Chain. So going back to the audit, I definitely recommend that you guys start reading these audits, trying to figure out exactly what they mean. Even if you're not a coder, you're not a tech guy. I'm definitely not a coder. I'm not a tech guy. But as you read these, you start to get a hang of kind of what they're talking about there, what to look for. The key thing for me, honestly, is to stay in touch with the team once the audit comes, and are they addressing the issues that the audit found? Now, reading through this audit for Wheat, I think they did actually pretty good, especially for such a strict audit. This was a 3-week audit. So this is a very extensive audit, and they had no critical issues found. They had a couple that they described as major issues, but when I went through it and looked at it, like this first one, say, is talking about the deposit fee and how it can range from 0% all the way up to 5%. But this is kind of theoretical. All they're saying is that worst case scenario, the site could charge you 5% in terms of its coding. It won't, and it sets the price and tells you exactly what the deposit fees are. So I'm not worried about something like this, but technically Consensys is right in that there is a wider range here in the smart contract. So it could theoretically go up to a 5% deposit fee. So that's the kind of thing that I look at and I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about that. Those are just parameters that have been created, and I trust that the deposit fee is going to be what they say it's going to be. So really, there were no huge red flags in this audit for me at all. I thought Wheat came across actually really strong here. And I have talked to the team here, and they will be addressing all these recommendations, implementing them in the coming weeks. So that's something to follow up on. But for them to go through the trouble of getting this audit done, which they didn't need to go this high end with their audit, I trust that they are definitely going to follow up and implement these recommendations, especially since they're advertising it so strongly on their homepage. So anyway, as a Wheat user, I was so thrilled to see that they did this audit. Gives me a lot of confidence in the team and them following through on being one of the most sustainable yield optimization sites. So while we're here, let's have a quick look at the vaults that they're offering these days. So here are all the various vaults. You can put your LPs into these vaults, and Wheat will auto compound them for you to get you as good an APR as possible, and you earn Wheat at the same time. Right now, the only one I'm in is Wheat, but I have used other ones in the past. But right now I have all my Wheat here in this vault, and I just harvest it every so often and put those earnings back in, so it keeps auto compounding, and I'm getting about 115% on that. But here are some of the other vaults. To my knowledge, they have the first 5-layer vault, which is the Belt Auto Wheat vaults, are doing 5 layers of auto compounding, which is awesome. But you can see the APRs. You've got almost 200% on some of these. You got 74, 27, 42. Down here on some of the cake ones, you got 141, 81, 95. So pretty good APYs for sure. They are definitely doing all they can to auto compound for you and get you the best that there is. And then here in the Ape vaults, you got more your higher risk ones. So you've got the Panther vaults here, where you're getting as high as 1,800%, but of course, much higher risk. But they even have something like the USDC BUSD vault here where you can get almost 17% on some stable coins if you're willing to take the risk of getting those Panther LPs and then using Wheat Finance here. All in all, though, I've been following this project for a long time, as you know, if you've been watching the channel. And I really think the team is doing it right, slow and steady. They got their heads down. They're just working. They're working away. They're not worried about the turbulence in the market right now. And the real scary thing when a market crashes the way it did, for me at least, is the team going to disappear? Do they have the capital to keep this going? What's going to go on? Can I trust that they're going to keep this going? And Wheat, really from day one, they kept telling me sustainability, sustainability. We want to be in this for the long run. We don't want to be one of these kind of like pop-up shops for yield optimization and then disappearing. So great to see the progress that they have made so far. It is a platform that I still use, that I will continue to use. And again, full transparency, they are a sponsor of the channel. But if you do your own research, look into Consensys Diligence. I think you'll agree that is a big deal. First time, as far as I know, a Binance Smart Chain project being audited by them. So very impressive by such a small project. I know a lot of you out there have been asking me, are you still using Wheat? What do you think about Wheat these days? Well, those are my thoughts. I think the team is on track. Obviously, the token price is disappointing right now, but the whole market crashed. And obviously that hit small projects like Wheat, huge. And in some cases, I am really worried about whether those projects will continue. And I'm looking for signs to tell me that yes, the team is still working. They're working as hard right now, even though the token price has crashed, than they were when the token price was pumping. And an audit from Consensys Diligence is exactly the kind of sign that I'm looking for. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it valuable, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, my name's Milton, saying over and out.